Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit happy here back again with Fate Zero episode 13 of season 1. My throat is still killing because I've literally just recording this straight after the last one. What I really should have done is gotten a new fucking cup of tea and I didn't, so great, it's going to be good. Alright, yeah, in the last one, the last episode, mainly focused around Archer and Kyrie, and I think Archer's sort of playing up his own plan and using Kyrie as sort of like a device, as sort of like a way for his plan to basically come to fruition. Possibly using Kyrie as his new master. I think that's probably the plan that he's looking for. But we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, we also have Iri getting weaker, which is sad. I mean, we knew I guess we kind of knew she was going to die, but I don't know. It's anime. Anything can happen. No. Fuck, bollocks. I just want Drifting Queen back. And yeah, there's a lot of information floating around. Tokiomi's second act begins now. He says he's basically formulated his plan by using Kyrie as a way to gather the information and whatnot. So it's going to be interesting to see how Tokiomi's plan plays out, considering the fact that Archer isn't really on his side anyway. So I mean, he's still got 2 command spells, so there's that big thing as well. Kyrie actually got a new command spell. He got new command spells. I'm still confused as to what. Like where he's at. Like I mean, yeah, he's got new command spells. Assassin's gone, but I don't know the rules. I don't know how it works. If he's got new command spells, right? Then that means that a servant has to be free. There's not like a real master involved. In my head, I was like, it must be Solar, but that means he would have control of Lancer, and I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see, because hopefully there's fucking answers in this episode about it. But yeah, I guess we're gonna really find out. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get in episode 13, season 1 finale, I believe. So yeah, let's go. Okay, episode 13. I don't know if this, because this could just easily be Crunchyroll's doing for some reason putting like 1 season and acting like there's 2, because I don't know if I don't even know if that was the finale or not, but that's the way that apparently it says on Crunchyroll, so we'll just go with it, even though season 2 says like it's season 2 starts with episode 14 apparently. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but anyway, yeah. So we had the Ride Our Wave Our Dream thing sequence at the beginning. I was wondering for a bit if it was actually the dream, but yeah, it turned out it was, which is interesting considering the fact that later on Ryder said that he actually never saw the ocean. Now, I was confused at first, but I'm guessing the idea of the thought is when he meant he wanted to see the ocean was to sail it, possibly. When he means like look at the ocean, not just like look at it from the coast, but actually, I mean, I guess because that next to the ocean anyway, like as of right now, so you can just look at it now. Of course, like it's not the same, is it? It's not the same as doing it like back in his day, but I don't know. It also could be a thing of like it's an interpretation and it wasn't actually a dream of what actually happened. It could just because they're connected sort of like on a sort of like a subconscious and sometimes conscious level, that maybe it just translates as what his dream was as opposed to what actually happened. Yeah, I did say during the reaction, but I think it's interesting that I at the end of last episode I was like, I was talking about how the different command spells, how they're all different, and I think they relate to the servant that you've got. And I didn't want to look it up because I thought it might spoil me if there's a reason as to why they haven't told us, or whatever the fuck, right? But in the opening, it does show a lot of their symbols, and it looks like Tokiomi's. It looks like Tokiomi's. I think it makes sense. The idea that those two, Kyrie and Archer, have been talking to each other and you know, the fact is that as soon as Archer's actually gotten through to Kyrie and Kyrie's mindset sort of changes a little, that's when he gets it. I don't think there's any coincidence that I don't think there's any coincidence that that's the reason what like when it happened and why it happened, and also the fact that their command spell looks very similar to Tokyomi's. So I think it is the idea of like, you know, the Grail's basically put like, you know, putting Kyrie and Tokyomi as the, you know, Tokyomi's already the master of Archer, but having, you know, I think maybe almost like Archer's just almost like forced that into existence. Like he's forced that to happen. It's crazy, because if that is what his plan is, to have Kyrie be associated like as his master, right? That would happen. But this is all dependent on whether or not that command spell is actually the same as Tokyomi's or not. And that's all also dependent on whether or not the different seals, the different symbols actually correlate to what servant you've got. Because if it doesn't, then I'm just talking on my arse. But, you know, I figured the would, right? You'd think so. So, I don't know. Caster and fucking RuneScape's love story, man. Jesus Christ. Like, it's fucking perfect for each other, aren't they? I mean, I've said that before, but, like, you know, when fucking RuneScape going on a whole bloody... you know, on this whole tangent about what God is and how he believes in God, but he doesn't associate God with the idea of like what religion associates it with, which is that, you know, you do good, you get into heaven, you do bad, you go to hell. It's more like God. He's sort of taken the idea that God is sort of like, he does the play thing. You know, he's sort of given it. He sort of made the world and imagined the world as a canvas, and then the like people like RuneScape and whatnot see themselves as like paintbrushes, right? I guess that's what it could be considered as, right? But he sees it as just you know, it's all the same thing. It's about, you know, entertainment at the end of the day. Who entertains God more? You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter whether you do it through good means or technically what would be considered bad means, like morally, but they don't see the difference in that. So so yeah, it was a good little talk, you know what I mean? I don't exactly associate RuneScape with that kind, you know, because to me, you know, as the sort of character he is very much just a fucking, you know, he's not known for that. Like Ryder's a good, like, sort of like one of those motivational speakers, and like he gets his point across very well in his analogies and stuff like that. We never associate RuneScape with that, but the way that he sort of like spelled it out was quite was quite interesting and good to listen to. But yeah. So yeah, with Waver and Ryder, I went to the sort of like the library, or, you know, whatever it was, got into some you know, he's reading some books on Alexander the Great and whatnot. Turns out they aren't all fact. I think that's a sort of, you know, I think they've just put it in there as a sort of like, well, first of all, the idea is like, you know, you shouldn't take anything at face value as first and foremost. I think that's sort of like a theme that both of them two kind of, their story has kind of been, is, you know, don't take things at face value. The way that takes things is like, you know, like, oh, he's weak and frail, and he's sort of like wallowing in self-pity a lot of the time. You know, and that's due to like his sort of like, you know, his character, that's the way it's been from the very start when we saw him in that sort of like academy thing with Kenneth and whatnot, that he's sort of like put down and whatnot, and not taken seriously. And he looks at, like, you know, he looks at Ryder, right, as like this fucking humongous fucking dude who's like, you know, someone that can just take on the world and whatever. And I love Ryder's analogy of the idea that, like, you know, like, right, the size of me, all relative, compared to you, yeah, I'm massive, but look at my enemy, it's the world. When you know, considering the world, like, the world's size to me, it's literally, it's practically less than a dot. It's not even, you know. And he says, you know what I mean, you can't be, you know, put down by the idea of like, oh, what the size of your opponent is, or, you know, you put too much like merit on that, you know. And you know, like I said during the reaction, like, you know, Napoleon Bonaparte would be, you know, I mean, that's gotta be that would be a hero, wouldn't it? That could be considered a hero. I doubt. I mean, well, I'd be surprised if he's ever one that's actually brought up in like in any other of the. I mean, it might be, but like, you know, he was a short dude, but you know, great general mind, innit? So you know, you can take some pointers from that. And then yeah, so we had Castor, who is basically he got his new sort of mentality, new ideals, his new like form of expression, and sort of and worship. He sees God as what Ryunosuke sees him now. So you know, it sort of give him this motivation to basically summon the fucking Kraken, and just fucking. So the idea was, well, I'm not even sure if it was even in his plan, but by sort of being consumed by it, I don't think he's really consumed by it. I think it's a use of like a shield, because if they can't get to the tome that has summoned the thing and destroy it, then it can't be destroyed, right? So I think that was the whole plan. It was like, right, be fucking eaten by the thing, be on the inside. I think his idea is that, you know, you can't get to it, you can't destroy it, right? But yeah, I love the idea. Like, I don't know to what. It must just be like another ability of Saber's, like the idea, the Lady of the Lake, which means that no water can impede it. That's, I don't know if that's a. I know the Lady of the Lake, right? But I don't know if that was ever a sort of, if that was ever like a piece of literature that was talked about in like, you know, if the like Lady of the Lake was to get like sort of hand off that as a sort of like a spell on King Arthur, is that right? No water can impede you. I don't know, but I like that though. So basically, you can just run on water. That's great. So yeah, I think the idea is to keep, as Ryder is supposed to keep the distraction going, like basically keep the eye on him while Saber opens it up, and then Castor and his tome become exposed, and then Lancer throws a spear. I can't wait for that, because like I said in the reaction, it's like Leonidas is like, that would be a fucking cool hero, wouldn't it? Like Leonidas, that'd be a good one. I would like that. Yeah. That'd be sick. Yeah, that's what I say. It's like that's what it reminds me of. You know, 300. You've seen that way he fucking throws the spear and he purposely misses just so that the guy can see himself bleed. It's like, that's more of a fucking insult than actually killing him. Like, it's worse. It's like, you're not a god, bitch. You can bleed. It's great. But yeah. It's like over the course of the series when I'm like going through like sort of historical figures and whatnot, and how cool it would be to have those like as heroes in the like in this show. I don't know to what extent, obviously I don't know if, I'm not sure if there is like an overarching story of fate, as opposed to it just being like a, you know, like, oh, it's just, you know, whoever gets the grail gets to make a wish, and then it sort of resets and then does it again, right? The next, was it 60 years? But I think the good thing about this show is that it could theoretically sort of repeat itself. It's like, all right, we've got 7 new masters and there is 7 new servants and 7 new heroes to you know, and then, you know, go from there. I think it's something that can easily be like repeated and whatnot. Of course, like, you know, you don't want to sort of like oversaturate it with that, but I think that's yeah. But that all depends on it, like what I said. Like, if there isn't like a bigger story happening above that, you know, above like just getting the grail and that's it. I think there is, because there's that whole idea of like the root, and that's what like all magic sort of mages sort of like almost like look for, and it's like an exit of the universe. And I love. I'm guessing this is the case, and I hope it is, because I love it. because of the Fate universe and how there's literally so many spin-offs all in alternate universes of this, is that, you know, in this show when it talks about, like, you know, other dimensions and shit like that, exiting through like the root of the world, that you're able to just go through the different universes that appear in different in the different shows, because that'd be really cool. Like, I'd like to say, like, you know, if there's a different Fate, like, in a different universe, that you'd like at some point you could see a crossover, you know. That'd be cool. When Ryder came up, he actually acknowledged, he basically said the King of Knights again. I mean, he basically said last time he saw her that he doesn't acknowledge her as a king anymore. So why would he even say that? I mean, even calling calling her by, like, King of Knights as just a title, still, I feel like he wouldn't do that. But I don't know. But yeah, that was all. So yeah, that is the end of season 1, apparently. Even though, you know, the more I think about it, the more I think that it's not even this wasn't even the finale. It's just that for some reason Crunchyroll thought, yeah, we'll just put it into 2 seasons. But if that is the finale, fuck, that was a dodgy fucking way to end. That's like on par of Code Geass season 1 finale. That's just such a fucking piss take. But yeah, that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One was a Discord. I urge everyone to come over, join the community, talk to me. I'm there, you know, and a bunch of other people are there, so get yourself over, come talk to us. SirMonkeySuit.com, my website, all of my content is over there. There is also, you can also sign up as a member, go to the forums, and go on the reaction recommendations page and submit a show that you want me to watch. Basically, the top 10 most liked shows will be put into a pool, and then, you know, obviously whatever wins that pool will be the show that I react to next. So make sure you go over there, get your post submitted. And Patreon, so I do have a Patreon. If you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So it's like $5 a month, that's the early access. That gives you access to my shows a week early. Also for Fate and Psychopaths, you actually get 4 episodes a week. So if you're coming for more reactions from me more frequently, early access to the one you want. Full length, that's the $10 a month, so you get access to my full length library. Everything I react to gets a full length. Exclusive tier, that is the $15 a month. So for that, you gain access to a bonus show that I'm reacting to, which is currently Mob Psycho 100 as of recording. But once this goes out on YouTube, it'll actually be something else. So make sure you go over and check out and see what that is if you're interested. $50, that's the elite tier. So for that, you get the choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It'll go at the back of the list behind a bunch of shows, about 7 shows, so it might take me a while to actually get round to it. But if you want to jump the queue and go at the very front so that your show gets reacted to next, then you want to get God tier, which is $100. But that was it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.